There's Louie.
Silver.
Gotta do it, gotta do it.
Yeah,
Everybody back home will have to.
Say hi, you don't know what else to say.
good. Yeah, I don't really have much to talk about right now.
Oh, heck. Well, everybody said, oh, you got to get that on video when you go out there, man.
1,000 members of bait.
Oh, yeah.
We took that up and had a little story in there. And then on our regular ad, they put our ad in here too for a shop. Right here. Okay.
All right. That looks pretty good.
So you can have one of those if you want that.
I'm going to walk back in the shop and just make sure your shop bags are okay.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Well, that's neat TV. It's got these.
This is
Louis got quite a shop here, huh? That fender looks pretty good. That'll do. Yeah. This will be it. All right. Congratulations, Louis. Billy G.
yeah, probably look pretty bad. Yes, you can. Yeah. Make sure everything's all right. All right, lightable. my wife there, you know. I was with Jeff. My bike was with Jeff.
Okay.
Red and black. Looks just like Jeff's.
This is gonna be so.
Okay, now.
Alright. Okay, this is just regular gas, and you don't want to put too much in before you start it, so don't load it up and get too much gas, because the gas fires quicker than a knife will. So turn your fuel on the side, and we'll get this off of here, right? And make sure the kill switch is off. Make sure the engine's off. And you make sure the door is open.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I do is open up the throttle and squirt a little gas in there, not a whole lot. And then go ahead and turn it over. Turn it over, and when it's spinning real good, and so it cleans it out pretty good, then put the kill switch on.
Ready?
Yeah. Then take the switch off so you don't forget.
Right.
Okay. Now we can lock the door and lean it this way. Drain the fuel. We'll show you how to drain that fuel. You drain everything out right here. Take this nut off right here.
All right.
Drain it back into your bottom. And then we'll use alcohol and oil and put in there. Start up again, and then that'll oil everything up. And if you leave it set a long time, then go ahead and take it off up here or here, and squirt some oil in there, and turn it over some so it gets a little oil in the gears, so they don't corrode. So, that sounds like yours, all right?
Oh, that sounds nice.
And turn it on.
Sounding long.
Yeah, slide open.
Yeah.
So they'll run the same heat. So when you turn it on, it'll come on clean and strong.
Okay.
Now they could get moved or changed, or the
Yeah.
cable a little different, or but that's just a stopper in there. Sometimes you get a little pull from these on there, how they'll speed up.
And this was with the cold plugs in.
Some are hot plugs. That's
Right.
just for warm up.
For warm up, you use the hot plugs.
Right, because you don't want to take a chance on these cold plugs not firing with a cold engine. And it won't fire, and then pretty soon it'll fire and it'll be loaded, and that's when you'll blow it alive. Start it up with hot plugs, but don't ride it down the hill with hot plugs.
Okay.
Because then it'll pre-ignite and run away,
Okay. All right. Yeah. After you shut it down, it'll keep going. With diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll just glow like a glow plug on an airplane,
Right.
Little airplane. You ready to hill climb now, Rick? Don't that smell?
Stand back a little
You ready to
further.
go?
It's gotta wait a while though.
Well, what do you want me to get? Him doing that or all
Well,
y'all?
I want you to get a lot of the conversation that we're having, because that's the really important thing,
Okay. Always lean it
Well,
over
it's
towards that
recording
way
it
so
all.
it drains out better, And then,
How does this work back in here? This.
all right. this works and slides. So the pump is pumping the fuel into the metering block. But with this shut off, it's actually bypassing it back to the engine. But when this opens up, then it leaves it shoot it into the engine and both underneath both intakes. Okay. So it goes in there instead of out through the bypass.
So when as it's, that pump is, at an idle, the pump is running
Oh, it runs at all times.
at all times. And this is the metering block is letting it bypass and go back into the tank.
Yes. What it does, it shuts off the amount that goes into your engine. It goes through a little tiny, tiny groove. And as this opens up, the groove gets big and lets it go into the engine. It's just like a big jet.
Right.
Only it's on a barrel valve. There's a little tiny slot here, and as it turns, the slot gets
Right.
big.
The
So
slot
it leaves
gets
the jet
larger.
wide open.
Okay, all right.
So that's all.
That's all that is.
It's real simple.
Yeah, okay.
It really is.
It looks sort of mysterious, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, to me, I never worked with one.
So that's all that is. And this here, it just goes by here, and there's a metering pill in there.
Yeah.
And it restricts it, and forces it into the engine. The bigger pill this is in here, the leaner the engine gets.
Right.
The littler it is, the richer the engine gets.
Richard.
So
Okay, could I stop for 1 minute,
Yeah,
please?
so that's all we got right there. So turn that on, that'll leak in there. And we'll run it.
All right, now what was that? Was castor oil?
Yeah, castor, I'll show you what it is.
Okay.
Castor oil and alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Now when we run this, we'll run it until it starts smoking using this oil.
Right.
Then we'll shut it off. And then you can drain the bypass and drain everything out, and don't save it, throw it away because it's mixed with nitro and you don't want that.
Right.
Ready, Lou?
Okay.
I got it turned on. And watch the exhaust. When it starts smoking, then we'll quit. That means it's pumping the oil through it. Anytime you're ready, Lou. And then
Yeah.
drain all that stuff out. Lou will show you what hose to take off and drain the tank. And it's always best to wait before you drain it a little bit so the overheads will drain down in the bottom end. And then drain the bottom end. That way any oil and nitro won't get up on your flywheel. There's a catcher in the bottom there, see, it's a reservoir in the bottom.
Mhm.
And he'll show you how to do that.
What, it's like a sump or?
Yeah, it's a sump. See this thing hanging down under here?
Yeah.
That's the sump. And the overheads run into it, see?
Oh, yeah, okay, I see, yeah.
And then the pump picks it up out of there and puts it back in the tank. That's all. But you always gotta remember, when you put oil in here, new oil in, and start it up, make sure that this is coming down and that this is starting to go up. If there's nothing in here, shut the motor off, and you gotta take this plug part way loose and let the air out of your oil pump. You know,
So
so
it's like-
changing
it's
oil.
like air
Now
pump.
this is always, yeah, this is always pretty good. You don't have this trouble. Mine has this trouble. So this won't be as bad as what mine is. I don't have a sump on mine. I got the old style yet. But my new motor's got the same thing. So Lou will show you what to take off there. And then you want to drain this out off of here. And you want to drain this if you can too. Take this off here and drain this all out of here. Because all this is mixed up fuel and oil and nitro. So drain all that you can.
And that's garbage, isn't it?
All right, just drain it and throw it away. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't much in there, because there wasn't much in the can. So we used almost everything we put in it. Usually you only put like a couple cups in there, and then because you're going to drain it out.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, no. What mixture was that now?
Oh, it was from 4 to 5 ounces to a gallon of alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll show you what kind of oil that I use, and that mixes with alcohol, but you got to shake it up because it'll separate.
Yeah, there's a lot to know, you know.
Hey, you want a Coke?
No.
No? I'm going to, oh, could I have a
How about
piece?
beer?
A beer.
Hey, gotta go get some, Rick. I gotta go home.
Oh, you always gotta go home whenever the beer runs.
Right, because I always have to go.
Here's what I use is Castrol R racing oil.
Uh-huh.
That mixes pretty good with nitro. It does work well. It oils your valves, in there and everything, in by your heads. Your oils your cylinders up, oils your pump up. And it's not that much, 4 or 5 ounces to a gallon.
All right.
If it's a little rich, it doesn't matter. It'll just smoke more.
Just mix that 4 or 5 ounces to a gallon of alcohol.
Take it with you, and when you get down at the end of the day, shake it up,
That's
put
what you
some in there.
rinse it out with, okay.
You don't spend.
What was that other oil, like, like Hislop was using that nitro,
It's too thick.
too thick, that's right, it robs your horsepower.
It works well. It's good oil,
Uh-huh,
but it's too thick. What you want is 30 weight racing oil, Valvoline racing oil, 30 weight,
all right,
or anything equivalent.
equivalent.
Valvoline.
And that Valvoline works fine, huh?
We use Valvoline because it mixes with nitro and picks it up, and it don't separate and bubble up. It mixes and it makes it into milk, and that's good because then you're oiling at least
Right,
your parts.
Right.
When it separates, you're all done.
right.
So that's why I use Valvoline.
Now, he's gonna be draining the oil in that now, right?
Yeah, he's going to show you how to drain it.
Okay.
It'd be hard to take a picture of it.
I don't know, I could just set this right down.
It's on the floor here. This line right here comes from the bottom of the oil tank. Right here.
Uh-huh.
Goes to that little elbow there. Boy, this one's easy to get at.
Unscrew that and let it drain.
What do you put in there, quarter?
Yeah.
Oil. That's some nasty looking stuff.
That's what the oil looks like. There's nitro in it.
We don't use a whole lot of that castor oil.
Good.
I still got part of a gallon or part of a quart left. That's all I used. With just a little bit of all last year. It's not real important what mixture you get it at or nothing. Just as long as you don't have too little, get enough in there.
There's another hose underneath too. You see better on this side. So it's right here, it goes to the sun.
Yeah.
Just take that off.
All right.
Oh, that looks good. They kept all, there was no snow out. Oh, they blew there that one day. Otherwise, it's not really good. Think about that long, that white. I was having trouble with it. I was so cold. I didn't think it'd be that cold. I just learned blue, you needed a coat and blue. Well, exactly. I mean, you didn't have to do that. Pick the coldest day.
This will be a good how-to video. Oh, jeez. do you got there?
That's what happens when you get too much nitro and it fires. Right?
At too low of RPM on a kickstart.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh whiz.
And you gotta hold this one up this way.
I hope not.
Instant trash city.
Whose bike was, who was running this?
That's Lou Grenzer.
That's my bike.
This is yours.
Oh, here's the other piece.
Oh, worm. It was straight like that one.
Yeah,
That's about 350 bucks right there.
no kidding. Can you believe that?
So that's why you need an electric starter.
Well, what was it? No, what was the cause of that? Do you think?
This was at York, Pennsylvania,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd warmed it up, and I set it up there in the pits by the outhouse, and the front of my bike was kind of downhill,
Mm-hmm.
and the fuel leaked into the cylinder, and I didn't realize it, and when I went to kick it over, I didn't clean it out. And I just give it one kick to start up, and it went kaboom, and just raised the head right up and smashed that right down. It came up almost on top center and fired and smashed it flat.
So what you had, equivalent of a stick of dynamite exploding in the damn cylinder.
That's right.
At least.
It ruins the cylinder, the piston, the pin. It flattens, put flat spots on your main bearings and the bottom end and both side bearings.
Well, did you run that day at all?
No.
Yeah,
Beezy
he
didn't,
ran back to the
Beezy
trailer and
didn't
got a
have a
beer.
bike to ride that day. I got second or third with Beezy's bike.
So you took Beasley's bike then, huh?
He rode to Vincent.
And it don't go very fast with a 1/8 stroke.
It was still my bike, so I.
Over here, that's gotta be right.
That's
yeah,
straight down
I
from our
understand
house.
that.
Yeah.
That's what it's for.
That's,
That was my spare.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
I'm looking for,
Let's see some of the other parts that you got here. What happened to this one here?
fabricated.
This was the same as a regular rod, except it was cut and short.
Oh,
and,
okay.
It's just for a
That's right
joke.
over here. Which way's
It isn't used for anything.
Yeah,
South, that's over.
that's pretty
over
good.
my
Yeah,
house.
old
It's
Louis.
about the right length right there.
Yeah. Louis got a whole drawer of these.
That's the only
I threw a lot of that stuff away.
Yeah.
Back when I first started doing this stuff with the old cast iron motors,
Yeah.
they were longer rods, yeah, and it was worse, yeah. It would hit and smash down and bust your cylinders and cases at the same time.
You're disappointed.
Then you had new cases, new cylinders.
They would bust the casings at the same time.
Right, it would, because the cast iron cylinders would bust
Uh-huh.
and just bust the cases out too.
Well, I'm
Now
surprised.
there's the long rod. right
That's original.
That's what
And that's what it ended up.
there. No, this is the old cast iron rod right here. This is longer. This was a longer, the longer motor.
Well, you really want to add to this, don't you?
There
This
you
is
go.
where it was, and there's where it is.
Well, what the hell? This isn't cast, is it?
No, this is the same stuff, except we use cast iron cylinders and cast
Yeah.
iron heads.
Yeah.
And then they went to the alloy motor in '72. This is the old style. In the '69, '70, '71, '72, they come out with the aluminum engine.
Uh-huh.
And this is what we have now, is that style motor. Except your motor is a 1980 motor. My motor is a 1972 motor.
Well, why would you sell a newer motor?
My old motor has been so good that I can't get rid of it.
Really?
That's what I got. It's
That whole
70.
back of my motor has been cut off with a bandsaw, and another section welded on because everything busted all up in the back there. When my chain wound up, we saved that motor and used the cases, the front part of the cases. We saved that motor, and it's still running now. You couldn't put a full transmission in there because nothing would line up. It's crooked on an angle either, but it runs on a ball bearing, so it's all right. One gear.
That's all you need. Oh yeah, like all right, the engine that I bought from you, now that doesn't have a transmission in it.
No, high gear. You put it from neutral right into high gear.
Mm-hmm.
Direct drive. You can't bust nothing that way in there.
Right.
The only way you'll bust anything is you bust a chain, wind it up in your sprocket, and tear everything apart. That's what happened to that motor. That's why we repaired it.
We ain't trying to scare you. All we're trying to tell you
Be
is
careful.
you want electric start.
tire on the back. But it really peters out, you know. It just dies on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I ought to have about a 500 instead of a 250. This is shit.
Yeah.
I ought to try that one along the side of it. Maybe
Yeah,
wouldn't have as much.
a wider turn.
Yeah, this is pretty tight.